Stop calling it an LLM. Seriously. If you are still thinking about artificial intelligence as a large language model, you are operating on an outdated mental framework that Google just completely dismantled. We are officially witnessing the death of text-only AI. Gemini 3 is the one pulling the plug. This isn't a chatbot update. This isn't Bard with a new hat. This is a full-blown multimodal world model that doesn't just read your prompts. It sees, hears, reasons, and acts with a level of agentic capability that makes GPT-5 look like a pocket calculator from 1999. We're talking about a model that is crushing CFA exams with near-perfect scores, vibe coding entire SaaS platforms from a single napkin sketch, and generating Nano Banana Pro visuals that are indistinguishable from reality. Google has quietly moved us past the era of large language models and into the age of universal intelligence. If you aren't plugging into this ecosystem right now, you aren't just missing a trend. You are actively falling behind. But here is the secret nobody else is telling you. There is one specific feature, hidden deep in the developer settings, that unlocks what I call God mode for your productivity. I'm going to reveal that in the final section of this video. Buckle up, we are about to break down exactly why this is the AGI moment we've all been waiting for. To keep you from drowning in the hype, we are breaking this down into the 7 pillars of Gemini 3 that you need to master today. The multimodal world model, why text is dead. Nano Banana Pro, the visual engine that killed Midjourney. Vibe coding, how we stopped writing code and started building products. Deep reasoning, the system 2 thinking that passes the CFA. Agentic workflows, the anti-gravity engine that does your chores. Infinite context, the memory that never forgets. Universal intelligence, the final unlock that ties it all together. Let's start with the biggest misconception. You are used to a text-in, text-out loop. You type, write me an email, and the bot spits out text. That is an LLM. Gemini 3 is a multimodal world model. The problem with LLMs is they are hallucinating blindfolded. They have read about a sunset, but they have never seen one. They know the word sarcasm, but they can't hear the tone in your voice. They are processing symbols, not reality. Gemini 3 was trained natively on video, audio, code, and images simultaneously. It doesn't use a separate tool to see an image. Its brain is built of images. It understands physics, timing, and emotion inherently. Here is what you can do right now. Don't type a description of a problem. Open the Gemini app. Point your camera at a broken appliance. Let's say your espresso machine is making a weird grinding noise. Do not type. Just say, listen to this noise and tell me which part needs replacing. Gemini 3 analyzes the audio frequency of the grind and the visual state of the gears simultaneously. Here is the pro tip. Gemini 3 can read lips. If you upload a video where the audio is corrupted or too quiet, the model uses visual cues to reconstruct the dialogue. That is the power of a world model. But don't click away, because we need to talk about the visuals. For the last 2 years, we've accepted that AI images are kinda glitchy. Hands have 6 fingers. Text looks like alien hieroglyphics. Enter Nano Banana Pro? Yes, that is the real code name. And yes, it is ridiculous, but the results are terrifyingly good. You want to make a marketing poster. You use Midjourney. The image is beautiful, but you can't put text on it. You have to open Photoshop to add the headline. The workflow is broken. Nano Banana Pro is Google's new visual engine integrated directly into Gemini 3. It doesn't just diffuse noise into an image, it understands the structure of letters and logos. Let's try the prompt that is currently breaking Instagram. Type, create a 3D isometric diorama of a futuristic gamer setup, chibi style. On the computer screen in the image, clearly write the words, subscribe now in neon green. Hit enter. Look at that text. It's not gibberish, it's perfect vector-aligned typography inside a generated raster image. Nano Banana Pro has a consistency seed feature. You can upload a photo of your face and tell it to keep this character ID, and it will generate 50 different images of you in different styles without morphing your face into a stranger. Influencers are already using this to fake vacations. Now this next section is going to make some software engineers angry, but I promised you the truth. We are moving from computer science to vibe coding. Traditional coding is brittle. You miss a semicolon, the app crashes. You don't know React, you can't build a web app. The barrier to entry was syntax. Google has introduced a concept called vibe coding via its Opal tool inside Gemini. This isn't just code completion, it's an iterative loop where the AI writes the code, executes it, watches the error logs, fixes itself, and presents you the app. Take a photo of this terrible drawing. Upload it to Gemini 3 with the prompt, turn this into a functional web app. Make the buttons feel bouncy and the color scheme sunset orange. Gemini writes the HTML, CSS, JS. It runs the code in a sandbox. It notices the buttons aren't bouncy enough. It rewrites the CSS animation. It hands you a deployed link. I didn't write a single line of code, I just defined the vibe. The hidden power here is self-healing. If you try to break the app, you can paste the error message back into the chat, and Gemini doesn't just suggest a fix, it applies the patch to the live instance. Okay, so it can draw and it can code. But can it think? This is where Gemini 3 separates itself from the pack. We call this System 2 thinking. Most AI models are System 1 thinkers, fast, intuitive, and prone to guessing. If you ask a complex logic puzzle, they usually just predict the next most likely word, which often leads to confident stupidity. Gemini 3 Pro has a deep think toggle. When you activate this, the model pauses. It literally spends computational time pondering before it generates a single token. It creates a hidden chain of thought, critiques its own logic, and then answers. This is how it scored 97.6% on the CFA Level 1 exam. Feed it a complex financial case study about currency hedging. Toggle Deep Think on, watch the thought signature. You will see it say, initial assumption is X. Wait. Checking interest rate parity. Correction. The inflation rate in country B invalidates that. Recalculating. You can use this for contract negotiation. Upload a 50-page vendor contract and ask, find the 3 clauses that are most likely to screw me over in 5 years if the market crashes. The Deep Think mode will simulate market crash scenarios against the contract language to find the loopholes. That is a 500-hour lawyer task done in 30 seconds. We are halfway through, and if your mind isn't blown yet, this next tool is the one that will actually save you time. We are entering the era of agentic AI. Chatbots are passive. You ask a question, they give an answer, but you still have to go do the work. You have to book the flight, send the email, or file the report. Gemini 3 is built on the anti-gravity platform. This allows the AI to leave the chat box and interact with other software, APIs, and the web on your behalf. Imagine this prompt. Plan a business trip to Tokyo for next Tuesday. Find the cheapest business class flight, book a hotel near the Shinjuku station with a gym, and add the itinerary to my Google Calendar. Gemini 3 doesn't just give you a list of links, it queries Google Flights. It authenticates into your booking tool. It scans maps for hotels with gyms. It places the holds. It populates your calendar. The human-in-the-loop authorization. It won't spend your money without permission. It prepares the entire transaction and presents a single Execute button. You click once, and 5 hours of admin work is done. But how does it know your preferences? That brings us to the context window. GPT-4 has a memory like a goldfish. It certainly doesn't know your entire company history. Gemini 3 boasts a context window that is effectively infinite for human use, up to 10 million tokens in private beta. This means you can fit the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy, your company's entire Slack history for the last year, and your codebase into the prompt simultaneously. Export your entire project history. Upload it all to a Gemini gem. Ask, based on Q1 marketing budget, how should we approach the Q3 launch given new constraints in this attached PDF? It connects the dots between an email you sent 6 months ago and a spreadsheet you made today. It has needle-in-a-haystack accuracy of 99.9%. You can hide a single sentence in 10,000 pages of text, and Gemini 3 will find it instantly. It is the ultimate research assistant. We have covered the tools, but I promised you the God mode unlock. I promised you the feature that makes this universal intelligence. It's not a button, it's an integration called Project Astra. Project Astra is the realization of the always-on assistant. When you wear smart glasses, Gemini 3 is watching everything you do, passively. It remembers where you put your keys because it saw you drop them. It reminds you to buy milk because it sees the carton is empty when you open the fridge. This is the personal AGI. It is a second brain that runs in parallel to your own. It doesn't wait for a prompt. It anticipates your needs. If you go into your Google settings and enable multimodal history, you are effectively creating a searchable database of your entire life. You can ask, what was the name of that wine I drank at the dinner party 3 weeks ago? And because the camera saw the label for a split second, Gemini knows. So let's recap. We have moved from text-based chatbots to multimodal world models. We have universal intelligence watching our back. The era of the prompt engineer is over. The era of the AI orchestrator has begun. The people who learn to wield this ecosystem now will be the ones building the unicorns of 2026. I want you to try one thing today. Go to Gemini, turn on the microphone, and just talk to it about your biggest business problem for 10 minutes. See what happens. If you want the exact list of prompts I used to generate the Vibe apps in this video, I've compiled them into a free Gemini 3 master guide. Link is in the description. Stop typing, start building. I'll see you in the next one.